Do you ever notice Karma always shows up wearing a red hat? Because this is that. A MAGA mom is melting down online after realizing her Make America Great Again vote came with an expiration date on her groceries. Sis is on Snap and Wick, crying that she can't afford baby formula, rent, or food. And her own mother told her, "We voted for this." I mean, how do you clap back to the truth? She's typing paragraphs about how anxious she is, how the shutdown hit her husband's GI Bill, and how her kids are hungry. Meanwhile, the rest of us are watching this in 4K like, girl, weren't you cheering when others were struggling?
Now it's November 1st, and you know the people that entered this month mad as hell is the people that ain't getting food stamps this month. And my auntie is one of them. Now she asked me for a loan. I told her I ain't got it right now.
Red states out here telling folks to pray on an empty stomach like it's a diet plan from Jesus himself.
The same Magas that were saying they are not worried if SNAP gets taken away, they are now reaching out to their families to ask for loans to be able to buy food for their kids. And the families are saying no. So these people are literally on the internet crashing out. Some families are already using this very situation. They're like, who did you vote for? If you reach out and you voted for this person, I am not giving you a dime. Warfare queens that live in trailer parks, some are already, going to grocery stores and run out with baskets full of grocery, and they cross the road running back to their trailer houses. This is a new edition of Hunger Games that we are about to start looking at right now. All these people are crashing out. They can't understand the magnitude of what is, and it's just the second day of this very month. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this edition that I don't know what to call it, Hunger Games or whatever. Frustration, fuffle, fear, gosh, I don't know. But I think I want us to look at these muggers that are literally crashing out because their families are not giving them any loans to help them feed them. We'll come back and talk about it. Just like the video, share. I'll be back with more.
Red states out here telling folks to pray on an empty stomach like it's a diet plan from Jesus himself. So you know that SNAP benefits, food stamps, are no longer available to millions of families in red states, right? Meanwhile, blue states over here doing community service, pulling funds together and making sure that people can still feed their children. But the red states, they said, no, you just need to pray about it and God will provide. Like that new meal plan is the Holy Spirit in a glass of water. Imagine being told to pray while your stomach sounds like a thunderstorm in surround sound. You can't even tell me America not ghetto. Blue states, they over here feeding people. But the red states act like they're hosting a Hunger Games sequel. May the odds be in your pantry's favor. Don't forget, while you're trying to stretch noodles into a gourmet meal, your president was giving himself an extravagant party at Mar-a-Lago. I'm talking shrimp, steak, and even dancers with no hips. Like a buffet sponsored by your tax dollars. But hey, you keep praying. Maybe one of those angels in Republican heaven will DoorDash you some groceries. In America, this is what freedom looks like in 2025. Freedom to suffer, the freedom to struggle, and the freedom to thank Republican Jesus for crumbs. Because apparently in red states, poverty is a test of your faith, not a policy failure. But hey, how y'all feeling? Y'all tired of winning yet? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like people are winning the Hunger Games, but losing dinner.
On today's episode of FAFO, the MAGA Child Edition. So there's a viral Facebook post that's going on where a daughter who voted for MAGA writes a post calling out her mother-in-law who refuses to give her grocery money. And this is due to the fact because of the way the daughter voted. Now, here's the kicker. The daughter is on SNAP benefits, and we know with this entire government shutdown, SNAP benefits are not going out to a lot of people. And in this badly written Facebook post, she writes, "I'm so anxious about this whole shutdown. My husband's veteran using his GI Bill for school, which that's affected, and we get food stamps since I'm disabled and he's in school. We have 2 kids, one is 2, and we're waiting to get her tested for autism. She's a picky eater. I've tried other foods, but in the end I give up because I don't want any more screaming. My 6-month-old is starting purees. Yes, we get WIC, but still, I don't know how we're going to pay for rent, let alone other bills, and get food. I do cook everything from scratch, and I've been adding rice, beans, or noodles to stretch it out. I'm just at my wit's end and I'm overwhelmed. Plus, we're almost out of formula. He asked his mother to buy a can until our WIC comes in. Her response was, "We voted for this." And the thing about this post is that there's a phrase that I believe Maga likes to use a lot. And it goes as pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Because you're supposed to be against handouts, yet you're on handouts, both food stamps and WIC, and yet you voted for the party that is typically against handouts. So yes, you do get what you voted for. And I will say the ones that I do feel bad for are the 2 kids, because they definitely did not vote for this and have no understanding of what the situation is. All the while, I bet those 2 parents probably voted for this to harm other people, but did not realize it would come back to bite them in the ass.
Now it's November 1st, and you know the people that entered this month mad as hell is the people that ain't getting food stamps this month, and my auntie is one of them. Now she asked me for a loan. I told her I ain't got it right now. She been asked a couple of other family members. They said they ain't got it. Now you know the last person on earth she want to go borrow money from is my uncle. But here it is. She asked me to take over there. I said, Auntie, I don't think it's a good idea. This football Saturday, college football Saturday, and you know he finna trip. Just to show. We came and knocked on that front door and walked in. He said, if y'all here to borrow money, the answer is no. She said, you know these people don't cancel my food stamps. He said, who don't cancel your food stamps? Ain't nobody cancel your food. She said, man, the government shut down. Ain't nobody getting no food stamps the month of November. She said, the devil is working, Daryl. He said, that's the problem. The devil working and you ain't. This mother...
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available, with 22 kilograms of baggage included. But now, with Jet2 holidays. Package holidays you can trust. Patronage protected.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not sure how to feel anymore about everything that's going on. So everyone's in an uproar.
Nope. You guys don't get to do this now. Nope.
I don't feel warm and cozy about this one. I don't agree with taking people's food, their resources to survive.
Were you this upset when Donald Trump cut USAID from Sudan and Congolese people? You know, the moment he did it, 3 weeks later, 300 soup kitchens in Sudan no longer had funding or the food? This is the problem with Trump supporters. They only start to give a when it affects their brother or their sister or maybe themselves, right? You don't care about hungry people. You don't care about other people.
All they have left to cling to is their food that they put in their stomachs every day. And if you take...
And his heart grew 3 times larger on this day. Bro, cut the shit, bro. You voted for Trump. This is what happens when you vote for dumb apple to become president, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Threaten people right before the holidays to take away all they have, which is food to feed themselves and their parents or whatever, and the children, right before Thanksgiving and Christmas. But it's ill-timed. It's not cool.
Yeah, buddy. No shit, it's not cool. You know, there's 12 million people right now before this food stamps cut that already didn't know where their next meal was coming from. Now, this is just going to increase that number. But you voted for this, bro. Like, what? Bro, you know that the government was going to get shut down. Come on. The first time he was in office, he shut it down twice. Never shut down under Biden. And then, boom. Next presidency of Trump, here's the first government shutdown. You voted for it.
I voted for Trump, and I don't agree with him taking away the EBT benefits from the American people. This is what I just heard a creator say. And so now my thought process is, were you not aware of what you were voting for? Not who, but what? Because clearly you could not have been fully aware. So then that makes me think, when most people are voting, like, you know, with this past election, were we just making votes because Trump was a white man and Kamala is a black woman or a woman? Is that what your vote was based on, rather than what was going to come into play from each of these candidates? This is why we have to read. We have to read to understand why we are making the choices that we are making. This is mind-boggling.
If you feel hopeless right now, I'm here to say some Trump supporters are actually regretting their votes. Estimates as high as 1 in 4 people who voted for Trump regret their votes. And on anonymous forums like Reddit, people have poured out their feelings about how much they regret voting for him. People like farmers who have been upset that they're not getting support and money is going to Argentina instead of them. Young voters who feel manipulated by the MAGA movement. And centrists who aren't necessarily committed to a political party have all expressed serious remorse over their vote. The fact that people are admitting that they're not happy with the election and the way things have been with Trump is a serious step in the right direction. As you know, in most cults, people who speak out against the leader are seriously punished. They're ostracized and experience a lot of hostility, which typically prevents them from speaking out in the first place. So although it may feel hopeless and like fascism has been descending upon us for a few years, there actually is a sign of some progress. That's why it's so important to have conversations with these people. If you're a white person and you have family who are Trump supporters, this is a really good time to try to get through to them, especially because a lot of Republicans want the Epstein files to be released, which could be used as a way to find common ground with them and convince them to not be MAGA anymore. Still have a long way to go, but the fact that his approval rating is dropping is a serious sign of good news.
I just witnessed a family trying to buy food with SNAP benefits, and it's November 1st, and they didn't know that there was nothing on their card. A mother, a father, and a little girl who was probably about 3 years old, 4 years old, standing there trying to figure out what they were going to do because they needed their groceries. Everyone should have food. Everyone should have food. Doesn't matter if you're a drug addict. Doesn't matter if you're homeless. Doesn't matter who you are. Food is a human necessity. Food, water, and shelter, and healthcare. We're not promised any of those things in the United States. Not unless you have the money.
They did it. They took away SNAP benefits. I get SNAP every month for me and my son. I get $550 a month in SNAP. I called my EBT card yesterday and I got an automated message from the government that's like, SNAP benefits are no longer available. They will be shut down in November. And I was like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of like misinformation going on, but this is like real information. Like my card really said, nuh-uh, you ain't getting $550 next month or probably the month after that. So if you know me and you've been following me, you know that I am in school and I work 2 jobs. It's to like, I do like Instacart and Uber when I can so that it fits my schedule for me being a mother and me being in school. I'm going to stenography school. The only reason I'm able to go to school and afford school is because of FAFSA and student loans. I'm shocked. I'm like, they really did that. And right now my kid is sick. He has a fever and we have Medi-Cal, and thank God they haven't taken away Medi-Cal because he had to literally go to the doctors this week because he has like a virus, and it's been a really stressful week for me. I don't want to talk about it, but these people, thank God, my family, like I'm Mexican, Indian, and Filipino. That's my nationality. I'm Mexican, Indian, and Filipino. Thank God my family, I have a big family. So yes, they did take away the SNAP, and yes, I'm going to have to probably work more, and my family is going to have to help me out more, and people I know and everything, everyone's going to have to put in more effort, and thank God I have people to do that for me or with me or help me. I'm blessed in that way, thank you God, because I am blessed with a ton of people who would never ever let me go without, and I love them for that. But there are mothers out there. There are single mothers with babies.
How are people surviving right now? I just took my family to the Cheesecake Factory, okay? That's not a fancy restaurant. It's a decent restaurant. It's not something you're gonna make reservations at. 2 adults, 4 kids, all ordering off the kids menu with a tip of $140.
This is the Henry method. He has a pretty large following on the conservative side of social media because of his economic analysis, specifically around Trump's economic decisions. Here's the problem, though, with Henry.
Everything is about to get cheaper. Your groceries, your bills, everything's gonna get cheaper. Trump just announced this at inauguration.
That's him back around the inauguration telling all of his followers everything is about to get cheaper. And then it gets even better.
Trump's tariffs are actually going to help inflation. It's going to help our economy. Let me explain.
That's you after the tariffs were announced. This is you after the tariffs have been running for a couple months.
Trump pauses the tariffs on Mexico. This is why tariffs are going to help the United States.
And then there's this.
Trump's tariffs are causing inflation.
And this.
We've entered a recession. Everything's about to get cheaper.
That didn't happen, and since you have been flip-flopping nonstop for the past 8 months, you had to resort to the one Trump card that you guys can frequently play.
You see, the past few years, we've technically been in a silent recession.
Ah, yes. It's Joe Biden's fault. Now, my favorite part about that entire sequence of timelines on your page is that this is the running narrative on the MAGA side of social media.
The left just relies on brainwashing and people with no critical thinking skills or common sense or just logical thought process. And
so what does liberal stand for? Well, I'll tell you what it stands for. It stands for lacking in basic education, reasoning, and logic.
Okay. But the cherry on top is somebody who is a conservative economic analyst on social media who has basically been justifying every single thing that our president has done for the past year is this.
I just don't know how the average American family is getting by right now.
MAGA, when is it going to be enough? When are you going to get it? I don't know what you don't understand. You keep voting against your own interests. Every recession, every government shutdown, all of it, it's always under Republican leadership, okay? Always. And look what's happening. 42 million people this morning who were supposed to get benefits, no benefits, okay? And if you look at what the blue states are doing, the blue states are stepping up. They're giving money, direct aid, they're filling up their pantries, et cetera, et cetera. 58% of SNAP benefits go to red states, aka people who put this fucking head in office. And 71%, here, look at this picture, okay? See all these gray boxes? Those are red states that are not doing a damn thing for their constituents, okay? They're not doing anything. They're not giving any money. They're not giving any direct aid. They're begging the government for funding, and they're telling people, well, I don't know, like, pray about it, call a church, see if you can go to a local food pantry. But of course, the food pantries are gutted because Trump cut that aid earlier this summer. When are you gonna get it? They do not fucking care about you. You can keep fighting your culture wars. And I mean, I gotta tell you, you are so lucky that liberals and Democrats are better people. If it was the other way around, y'all would be like, oh, fuck, starve liberals, not us. We're angry. We're upset. We're in the fight to get everybody who needs these benefits their money. But y'all would be over there literally cheering this shit. And the only reason that you will even pay attention at all, not that it will stop you from voting red again, because it will not, is because it's going to hit your table directly. And it's not just food, it's health insurance. These people, they don't give a fuck about you. When are you going to fucking get it?
I want to say I'm sorry. I voted for him, and now they done cut off my food stamps and my check, and I don't know how I'm supposed to eat. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Y'all, I thought
Donald Trump is the first president in U.S. history to cut off SNAP benefits to people in America. So as of the end of next week, SNAP benefits are going to be frozen. They go away, and that affects millions and millions of people in America and certainly in Massachusetts. We're currently evaluating what we can do. Obviously, it's a time to give as much as you can to our food pantries who do a wonderful job. I'll be meeting with my anti-hunger strike force that I stood up a while ago to talk more with them about what we can do to feed families here. But it's unbelievable. The first time in American history that a president, during a shutdown, has cut off food to families. That's what's happening right now. It's a choice that Donald Trump is making. He can choose to reverse that. I strongly urge him to do so. Don't take food away from people. Don't take food off the table of Americans.
I hate to be the one to break it to y'all, but it was never an open book test. It was never an open book test for MAGA supporters who have finally seen the light now that we're threatening cutting SNAP benefits. I keep reading the comments. It was an open book test. I have no sympathy. It was not an open book test. We don't have the same book. And half of the people who finally have opened their eyes wouldn't have been able to read the book had it been the same to begin with. I just completed all of my medical training in Arkansas. I went to college in Oklahoma. I grew up in Illinois, and it turns out that I was fortunate enough to be born in a suburb where I attended what is now the #1 school district in the country. So let me be the first to tell you, after growing up 0 to 18 in a community based around something that would produce the #1 school district in the country, and then 18 to 32 down in rural America, it's not the same book. And if it did take the cutting of SNAP benefits for you to finally open your eyes and recognize that maybe you're not understanding, maybe you didn't know, maybe you weren't paying attention, I'm so sorry that nobody ever told you that it is not your fault. It is not your fault. What we seem to not understand about the hardcore red states that are based around these rural Americans that are fighting for gun rights, abortion laws, anti-LGBTQ+, we are not in the same universe. Even the algorithms on the phones are not the same. States that are most notoriously hardcore for DJT are the same states that suffer from the highest levels of adverse childhood experiences in the worst ways. The chronic stress that is experienced by rural Americans is something that I could probably and should write a book about. Generations of families that have relied on disability because they were a blue-collar worker and were injured on the job, that relied on SNAP benefits because they've gone through 4 generations of people who were pregnant at 14 years old because we don't teach sex ed. These people did not receive the same education as most other people in this country because they don't value it, because it takes their kids and their families away. Like, okay, when I went to college in Oklahoma, all of these other people in my class, it was so clear that not only was their early education not even close to what I received, especially in the way that they would write. I would read people's essays and I would be like, oh. Meanwhile, in my high school, we had to write a 16-page research paper junior year, which, by the way, I wrote on how absolutely ridiculous and exclusive George W. Bush's No Child Left Behind freaking was. You're not understanding that the government is lying to you and manipulating you by using your religion against you. They know they can garner your support in how you approach the values you hold in your religious beliefs, while behind the scenes, they're absolutely destroying any possibility that you, your family, your future generations have at living good lives. And I don't want this to be offensive, because I do understand that Southern culture, Southern pride, these generations have also been built strongly around resilience in different ways. But at the end of the day, you live in a state where 1 in 4 children goes to bed hungry every single night, and you're actively supporting the same exact person who is going to make that probably 1 in 2 next month, right before the holidays. If you want God to show up in your community, if you want to truly base all of your political decision making around being a godly Christian or a godly individual, the only way to do that would be to wholeheartedly support anything that improves the communities that rural Americans are living in. It would be supporting things that provide them with basic human needs, especially under the assumption that we are already in a highly impoverished places in the United States where there has not been much opportunity at all. That is full of people who are already impacted by living a life of chronic stress. Now has these same states with the sickest people in America, with the highest numbers of chronic illnesses. This is all interrelated. If you cannot build strong humans from the bottom up and provide them with basic needs of stability, support, food, shelter, opportunity, financial security, emotional stability, and support, rather than building up a generation of indoctrinated children to believe that we are living by the word of God and that anyone else who doesn't deserve anything good or sustainable in this life. Like, instead of worrying about who in America is able to get an abortion should they need or desire one, instead of worrying about who is LGBTQ+ and whether or not your child is going to be exposed to that, worry about the trauma that is happening in your own home. Worry about that, because everything else will fall into place. You guys want to keep talking, why has autism gone up? Why? Because the chronic stress has gone up to astronomical numbers. We are not the same human beings biologically, physiologically, as we once were, and y'all are pretending that we are, and that no one needs any support. But yeah, it wasn't an open book test.
Welcome back to the channel, my people. Hopefully from wherever you are watching this from, you are doing all right. Hopefully God has protected you and preserved you very well. I do hope that you are provided for regardless of what is happening. You've seen what is happening already. This is just the beginning. Because just in case people thought that he has a plan, he does not. And he talked about how this is not an emergency. So the judges that are trying to sue and press him to get into the contingency fund or emergency fund in the SNAP benefits, he is literally trying to block them from doing that. So you can imagine how many people are going to really struggle. You know, it is very unfortunate that this is happening, because I'm looking at this and I'm like, wow, this is nothing like something that I have seen anywhere near me. Because if even your family that has it all together, they are not willing to give you anything. Imagine how many people are going to go hungry, how many people are going to go homeless. Already people are losing their jobs, and then on top of that, you don't even have anybody to depend on. But to make matters worse, most of these people still come from red states. Mind you, this man is also trying to redefine what qualifies for disability. Like, yeah, if you are on disability, they're trying to redefine that as well. So he's literally going for everything. Same people that thought it is going to be better, and now it is coming to them firsthand. They don't deserve this. I would like to differ. They don't deserve it. This is not what they deserve, okay? But the thing is, the universe works differently. The Most High also works differently. What you sow is what you normally reap. If you expected it's gonna get worse for others, you have to test what you wanted others to test. And it's bad. It's gonna get bad. By the way, it's not only palm-colored people that are going through this. These Latinos, black people, are also going through this. Even if we are like, black people have always known how to survive. If you live like a survivor, that's not a good thing. It's just that, okay, maybe you're used, you know how to maneuver and survive, right? But that's not how you're supposed to live. That's not how life is supposed to be like for you. Meanwhile, we have division. We have one camp, which is the Maga camp. And that camp has two portions of those that are like, yes, you go suffer. And then those that are already crying, they're like, we need help, right? And then these ones that are like, go suffer, they're the same people that are coming on the internet right now and they're like, if we see you, we've been waiting for this to happen, we've been waiting for this moment if we see you stealing. A cult within a cult. But regardless of it being a cult, people are actually starving. People are actually being used as a weapon. That's what we are looking at. Me, I'm not going to be like, yeah, she deserves it. Nobody deserves to go hungry. Nobody deserves to go hungry. But too bad that the same people that are supposed to see it, that actually I'm not even in a good position. They're the same people that the government uses to bring their own suffering. I think a lot of people have been saying that this president, the white people had never gotten a bad president for themselves. They thought this one is going to be a bad president for black people. This is a bad president for white people themselves. So, midterms are coming. I hope they know what to do. Because they're being held hostage. Like that. Being used by the same very man that they voted for. But there are also those that did not vote for this. And they also have been on SNAP benefits because life happens to all. That is what scriptures say. Life happens to all. Nobody is special when it comes to life. Even those that think they are special, sometimes life catches up with them. So all I'm trying to say is this is catching up on even those that didn't vote for this. The same person that says he cares for these people, here it is right now. You've seen the ones that are running with groceries. We are about to see more of that happening. We're about to see more families already coming out. And I don't know, you guys, I am speaking to real people. I'm speaking to real people. You have family members that are on SNAP benefits. Probably even you who is watching me right now, you are on SNAP benefits. What is your, what is your way out of this? How are you going to survive? Do you have family members that are supposedly helpful, that can help in a situation like this? And if you have family members that are on SNAP benefits, are you willing to help? Because most of these red states, they are not even coming up with anything to help. They are still putting their hands out. They say they are against handouts, right? And they say, everybody should get out of their bites and go work. People work. Now it's time, right? Are you willing, guys, to help? And because for me, I would help regardless of who you voted for. I would feed you. I would, because I'm a decent human. And I come from a community. That's how we are brought up. I would help regardless if I have it. But you let me know what you think about this video. And the Maga warfare queens that thought that people that were on these benefits are only, black people. What do you think? It's about to get worse. It's about to get worse. You've seen that food pantries are already going empty. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Again, I pray that God watches over you, protects you, provides for you above all, especially in times like this when your only survival depends on Him. I love you guys, and I'll see you later. Till then, my name is Chrissy. Bye all.